Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle. "30 seconds to battle." The battle begins.
They wanted to, they could go for some ganks into the middle lane. And then rotate to the bottom. An aggro try with the Centaur is not a bad idea. If you're able to give the Centaur a little bit of time to get to like level 3, 4 area, and then rotate your 2 supports in, both being level 2. It's a pretty dangerous lane. It would force Fnatic to play very defensively and probably miss out on a lot of farm as your Drow Ranger just because the potential of that lane is too great. Looks like Come With Me is going to be sticking around here in this middle lane, really protecting Arise, who is going to be starting off with early Glaives of Wisdom in this 1 versus 1 matchup. God is just spamming out some of his nukes just to be able to pick up his bottle. And especially with the change of runes, being able to have that guaranteed rune on one side or the other makes a pretty big difference for a lot of mids who build bottles, as you're able to rely a lot more on camping those runes and guaranteeing that you get a bottle fill up rather than as much bottle crowing, which did get a little bit of a nerf. We can see, God, he's just spamming this out over and over and over again. It's the low mana cost of overwhelming odds with a decent mana pool. He gets 3 different ones off in the first bottle. Meanwhile, Ace is going to be our off lane Furion. He's looking to just be able to pull. This is a bit of a dangerous lane, as Phantom Assassin is actually not that much of a passive carry in lane, even though most hard carries kind of have the characteristic of not being able to provide much harassment. Phantom Assassin is one of those that upsets that idea. You compare heroes like Doom or Spectre, those kind of very passive laning heroes. Phantom Assassin is not one of those. She can actually be very aggressive in lane thanks to the dagger and, of course, that jump in. So Furion does need to be careful, and he's not going to just be reliant on trees to be able to pull and give himself distance. If he's ever caught out by a smoke from one of these supports and hit by a stun, he's going to die. Whoa, Arise losing his potion there. 400 health. Maybe a little bit of lag issues for him. That should not happen. Our offlane Centaur is also facing up against a pretty dangerous lane thanks to the frost arrows of the Drow Ranger. And no escape mechanism. It's the lane you just want to soak up experience. 8's going to be gone on here in the bottom lane, but the Phantom Assassin, not being here, the last nuke will be able to finish him up anyway. Yol picking up the first blood gold. BZZ will return right back to farming up his lane. God. A little bit careful there, almost getting blocked out by the Fisher. Both sides bottle crowing quite heavily here. Seems like the harassment of the Silencers seeming to do pretty well up against the Legion Commander. But she's still getting everything she needs. 15-0 compared to 17-4 on Arise. Pretty natural lead there for the ranged hero. Especially Silencer. Thanks to Gloves of Wisdom, any hero that has an orb attack just gets that much extra harassing capabilities, because the fact that you do not pull the creep aggro to yourself when you use orb attacks against the enemy hero also allows you to do harassment underneath towers. It's just, in general, a good way to really push your luck. And God may be caught out here. The Fisher block, oh, not quite landing it. Arise gets one more hit off, but that's not enough. Really needed that Fisher block in order to get the kill. Come with me, just slightly off, though. Rise seems to be doing a very good job pulling so far. Seedoy is level 3.5 right now, and Rise is actually slightly ahead of him in experience. Could be a part of the bounty runes coming for him, but either way, I would say, like, if you're running a dual lane like this, you don't have a support that is fully committing to harassing out the offlane hero. If your support is keeping in level with the offlane, I would say you're doing a pretty successful job. Now, whether that's starving yourself out in exchange for starving the offlaner, or just pulling really well and keeping in pace with that offlane hero, either way is a sound strategy, and as long as you're keeping pace with them, I would say you're having a very successful run as a support. Of course, that's really helped out by the fact that Hani's presence in lane is so scary for a Centaur. And until he has level 6, it's not going to get any easier. And then, of course, the ever-present danger of having your supports wrap around this tower, thanks to the slight change up here in this bottom area. Even underneath the tower has to play pretty passive. Looks like we're going to be seeing a rotation from vir.pro. Jotum's going to be coming in with a magic missile stun. Yol trying to get in range. Looks like they won't be able to dive this. A bit too far. Courier is pretty far out here. They're not quite going to be able to get it. In fact, they might have just successfully baited a kill here. Yol is low, but not quite low enough. Come with me, kind of chasing him down, but they don't have any extra mana or anything, so. Close engagement there. That Courier, I have no idea what that was up to. Legion Commander is about to pick up our level 6, though. That just adds in an extra disable on the field. Silencer does have to be aware of. You could see our Phantom Assassin is going to be going a very aggressive build here. Item build, phase boots, and a pair of drums is presumably what that bracer is going to be built into. That kind of build-up allows you to do a lot more work around starting about the 20-minute mark. Even just a basic lifesteal like Helmet Dominator is a pretty popular stat item for Phantom Assassin. Lifesteal being pretty critical for PA in order to keep up her life sustain, and is also a great little farming item for her as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that as like the third item, and that should occur about 20 minutes in is where you have those 3 items. Dive into the bottom lane. Looks like they're going to be going for Seedoy here. No Sprout coming out from Ace, or at least Not in time anyway, and will miss out on that potential pickoff. Jottam gonna be blocked off here. Still gets the ward though, and doesn't seem too nervous about the silencer either. Cedoy being dove is level 5, but as soon as he got himself around that tree, Hani, not what he did. Try and pursue. Don't want to be wrapping around and getting in Centaur stun range. Tower will be going down though. vir.pro unable to form any sort of response here. Jottam just a bit too late to the show to try and get a deny or anything of the sort. Pretty passive laning phase all around. CS-wise, we seem to be fairly even. Silencer is beating out the Legion Commander pretty heavily, but that's to be expected, I would say. And then the Phantom Assassin doing slightly better than the Drow Ranger, which I would also say to be expected. Drow Ranger's just animation is so awful in those first 1 or 2 levels where you don't actually hit that hard. God, well, Furion teleporting in. Ace has had some pretty unsuccessful rotations so far.
Thanks be to you.
First to the bottom lane, now to the middle. And is just going to go to the jungle for now. He's got no immediate disable, so he's very susceptible to the Phantom Assassin.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And I think this may be a characteristic that you're going to be seeing more of, is that these one positions are able to solo out these offlaners. We were already kind of seeing it 6.81, but it was a different kind of one position. Here we're running some hard carries due to the fact that we're more likely to see games go much later than normal. Most of my games have been 40 minutes plus. In fact, if you look at the average game time between the games in 6.81 and the first set of games in 6.82, they've all been, on average, about 5 minutes longer. Cedoy is going to be silenced up. He should still be able to run his way out or just teleport. And gets hit by the Earthshaker stun. Come with me. Nice rotation down.
Let me get my arrows back.
And that will put a stop to that one. Thought they were actually going to be able to come in with the Stampede. I thought he was just going to run his way out, but fortunately, that Silencer ultimate making sure that he wouldn't be able to Stampede away, and of course that Fisher stun stopping the teleport. And a minus being picked up for our Silencer. One of the few mids I can really get behind a Midas, just because all of his abilities are so amazing, plus you need to be able to make sure you keep up not only your gold, but also the high amount of experience. You want to be having your level 3 ultimate by the time you get Aghanims plus Refresher. I'm presuming that's still going to be the build here for the Silencer. I doubt he's changing it up too drastically. The extra level in Glaives of Wisdom help him out in lane, but I am expecting him to get some more levels of Curse of the Silent over time. BZZ, thinking about going for, well, he's chasing away the Earthshaker. He's got 2 supports on the right side, so no surprise. But even if they do give up this tier 1 tower in the top lane, it's going to be at a bit of a trade here. Rise as well as Arise are both going for that middle tower, but here comes the Smoke King. Fnatic, Jottam, and Cedoy. They need a successful gank too. Jottam is very starved out in experience right now. They could use a pretty successful rotation. They're going to go for a Rise now. Come With Me is already here with the stun and a follow-up from Rise as well. Will be able to bounce around. The Witch Doctor ultimate going out. God is actually going to die from that one. Cedoy's up next, and oh my god. What a disaster. BZZ actually comes in as well and takes a huge amount of damage. Ace won't even fall. I'm not sure what that was towards the end, but that first initial idea there from vir.pro with their first 3 heroes wasn't that bad of an idea, but got completely countered there by Rise with the Witch Doctor. Maxed out cast plus Death Ward. Doing the most damage I think I've ever seen Death Ward do it at that early on into the game. Very rarely do you get like a full duration Death Ward off. But that was just disaster there for vir.pro. They didn't even get that tier 1 tower at the top lane due to the fact they rotated their heroes into middle. And the unnecessary death really being BZZ's. He dove headlong into that one. Looks like he wants to go for his BKB nice and early. and isn't going to be going for the Helmet Dominator, which I think would say it was a bit more popular. Just getting one more stat item is usually a bit more popular than going straight for the BKB like this. Tower not quite in deny range yet. vir.pro are going to find themselves a double damage rune for the Phantom Assassin, though. And Come With Me may want to be careful. Of course, he's got Aftershock with an Echo Slam, so if he really needs an escape, he's probably got enough stuns. Looks like they want to go for Seedoy here in this bottom lane, leading with the silence. A follow-up, couple of slows. Come With Me is going to be going for the Fisher block as well. Echo Slam goes out. He didn't actually hit the Centaur with much of that damage. Didn't even hit him with the stun part, but still, they do get the kill, and that's going to be a Drow Ranger picking up another kill like that. Went for the early Yasha. And I wonder if he's going to be going for the early Manta, or if this is just a value Yasha. I mean, Yasha is just such a great agility item for many heroes, especially Drow Ranger, thanks to the gigantic increase of agility. The precision aura is made that much stronger, but also the fact you're able to jungle really efficiently with that Yasha as well. So it could just be a value Yasha, or it could be a full-on Manta, which will allow them to push that much faster. Normally, I don't really like to see Manta too early unless you're going for pushes, early pushes like this. Come With Me, just hanging out in the trees right now, soaking up some experience. Seems like it's going to be a while before we see a Blink Dagger Centaur. Comparing that to our off-lane Nature's Prophet, who has been a part of a lot of kills, and they've taken down many towers. He hasn't gotten that much farm in lane. In fact, he's on a very similar ground to Centaur if you just want to look at like CS and the amount of presence they had in lane. See, 30-1 compared to 27-0. So Ace, in that regard, he didn't really do that great of a job of being able to obtain farm in lane. Of course, he did have a pretty dangerous lane. His first couple of rotations were pretty lackluster, but he's gotten a serious boost up thanks to his allies and that really great fight in the middle lane and being able to take down those first couple of tier 1 towers. Even though the tower gold did get nerfed up a bit, it's still him getting that leg up on the Centaur and is going to be able to provide a lot more presence if this continues. Going for the Null Talisman Blade Mail build, not a big surprise. Still pretty standard on Fear. Smoke gank in from vir.pro. Moving this Phantom Assassin around the map. I actually like this quite a bit. I think Phantom Assassin is pretty underrated in those 15 to 25 minute team fights where many supports don't have the nukes to threaten Phantom Assassin just yet. If you look at the supports on the side of Fnatic, they're actually pretty high level thanks to the time that they've spent farming up in lane, plus the successful lanes or successful team fights that they got into. They have more experience than you would normally see out of supports, but many times, about 13 to 15 minutes in, most of these supports would be for level 5, maybe peaking to level 6 by this point. So the Phantom Assassin is oftentimes not really that threatened by just the support nukes alone. And if you're able to get your supports to be the initiators and have the nukes be thrown on them, the Phantom Assassin can go kind of uncontested in many team fights just because of her high amount of mobility. In fact, you could even see BZZ went for the very aggressive skill builds here. You normally see like a 4-1-4 build just because that blur buff is so incredibly strong, going up to 50% evasion this early on into the game. It means you can really aggressively dive towers without worrying about much, and oftentimes when nukes aren't quite enough, you just need those couple more auto attacks, and that evasion from the Phantom Assassin just makes it so impossible to get those. But he even went for the higher levels of Phantom Strike, trying to lower that cooldown and be able to have multiple blink strikes in every single fight. vir.pro, we're looking for a pick-off in the bottom lane and trying to transition that into a quick tower, as they probably still don't want to straight-up fight Fnatic. The problem is, if they don't fight Fnatic soon, they're going to start taking those tier 2 towers. Tier 1s are okay to give up. Tier 2s, though, not quite so much. And a very early tier 2 loss would really play some
Dire's
havoc
top
on your
tower is under
control of the map.
attack.
Invisibility.
Got him, still level 3. And because they're grouping up so much, this Legion Commander is finding very little opportunities to catch people out with Duel. He did most recently pick up his Blink Dagger though, so hopefully that will make things a bit easier. And of course the initiation on the Drow Ranger. You've got 2 different melee carries now that are going to be jumping straight for the Drow Ranger every single team fight. And disabling that marksmanship. 2,600 gold. Hani may be going for a Manta.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He could always go for like a, I'm not sure how strong this really would be, but something like an S and Y with that build. Ace is going to be caught out here. Silence goes out. Seedoy unable to finish off Ace. Now going to be hit by a cask. Familiars actually bouncing the cask around between the two of them, hitting Seedoy multiple times. But it looks like Seedoy should be able to get out. So even if they do lose their Familiars, which is 200 gold in the pocket of Hani. But even if they do lose those Familiars, at least they keep Seedoy alive, which is pretty important, solely because of the fact he's holding on to a lot of unreliable gold right now and is trying to get to that Blink Dagger. So, good use of the silence, though, by Arise. As if he had been able to pick off that Nature's Prophet, it might have actually jumped him straight up to that Blink Dagger. And can't afford to be too conservative on those big team fight ultimates this early on into the game. You're unlikely to get a better scenario for an ultimate than... Aghanims is almost up, plus your level 2 ultimate, so this Midas really jumping him up and in levels quite highly. Level 11 by 17 minutes in. About a 5,000 gold lead for Fnatic and a 5,000 experience lead, though these things could rapidly change. Even though it seems like the Legion Commander has had a very small impact in this game, this Phantom Assassin is going to have a BKB in time for those team fights, which means not only is that getting rid of like the global silence and that really obnoxious curse that is coming into play. In fact, he went for the maxed out Glaives of Wisdom while still going for an Aghanims build. I really thought Arise was just going 1 or 2 levels of Glaives of Wisdom in lane, just for that extra bit of damage, harassment, the CS possibilities. Just figured that extra bit of damage could make the difference for you. So I was like, okay, an extra skill point, no problem. And I really thought he was going to be going for Curse of the Silent from there and have it basically be maxed out by now. He would have it level 4 once he hits level 12. Choosing not to go for that route. Curse of Silence, I mean, the Aghanims is still going to be a pretty big upgrade, but the Curse of the Silent that it puts on it is the current level. So it's only going to be a level 1. Seems pretty lackluster. Can't say I'm a big fan. BZZ does have his BKB coming in though, so there goes taking away that Curse of Silence, plus dealing with many of these disables, and can still jump straight for our Drow Ranger. Now, Drow Ranger did choose, with all the gold that Hani was holding on to for quite some time, he chose to go for the Blink Dagger route. Now, it's not that I don't mind the extra mobility. I think it's really strong versus heroes like Legion Commander, who there is a bit of an animation there with Duel. Plus, you should be able to see him before he blinks at you. So, I think there's some good opportunities for you to be able to dodge those attempted ganks. The Phantom Assassin is a bit riskier, though. I'd say that... he's going to have to really play this well if he's hoping to. Hani trying to teleport away, and overwhelming odds will hit just Arise there. Hani going to bounce back Seedoy during that Stampede time, and it's going to try and take him down. In the meantime, they're going to lose Come With Me as he gets blasted down by Y'all. Arise coming in from the right side. BZZ running out of his BKB time. They do kill Arise there and get a duel off with it. BZZ will still be taken down, though. And now God pushed out a little bit and is going to teleport away, but the damage, just way too much right-click damage from the side of Fnatic with all of that extra agility from Hani. That'll mean they also take Roshan here. Jotum will reveal with Wave of Terror, but there's nothing he can do about this. Even the courier getting picked off. So Hani just waltzed right into the Secret Chop and able to pick that out. It may have costed him Roshan, though, because I don't know, that extra bit of time in taking down Roche, they might have been able to make a full commitment if he
Dire's
stayed there.
top tower is under attack.
They may still get it though. They're being stalled out right now due to the fact that vir.pro are ready to jump on them. They still don't have that blink dagger for Seedoy. I mean, they desperately need that because they need to be able to have that Centaur jumping either on Drow Ranger and trying to pick him off in the beginning of the team fight, or jumping on that Witch Doctor who has just been wrecking them so far. I mean, Centaur's stun is the best stun that they have to be able to deal with that Witch Doctor right now. Because right now, this Vengeful Spirit is very underfarmed. He's sitting at level 4. He's only got the 1 magic missile, so he doesn't even have that secondary interrupt with the Nether Swamp. Oh, come with me. Actually gets off the Echo Slam, almost being caught by the duel, but he will still be nuked down. BZZ running around with his BKB. They maybe should have kept going there, as that one support pickoff really was not worth it by itself. But it seems like they're a bit too scared of this whole entire cliff area. Can't really blame them considering what happened last time. God will now jump in again. Silence goes off, and it's going to be able to stop God from doing much there. As, oh God, the cask between the two heroes in the back. Didn't even notice that one, but they were locked together and couldn't even run away in time. And now Fnatic will go back to doing Roshan. So Hani's new squad, very convincingly beating vir.pro right now. They get 1,500 gold out of that one, 3,000 experience out of it as well. They get an Aegis, plus the levels in that one. It looks like that is just going to be a value Yasha for a while. Demon Edge now being picked up by our Drow Ranger. So going for the fast MKB to be able to deal with the Venom Assassin. Still a bit of a glass cannon build, considering the fact they have 3 different heroes that are able to jump a Drow Ranger.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's
But another tier
tower
2
is under
going to be
attack.
falling soon here if they're not careful. Come with me is going to be potentially picked off by BZZ. Couldn't even get off the fissure there. Also notice that Come With Me doesn't actually have a level of Enchant Totem just yet. He went for the 404 build. Can't say I'm too big of a fan of, but sometimes leveling up the Aftershock stun can be a bit better for you. vir.pro off of that one pickoff though, and the double damage rune they picked up subsequently. They will turn a tier 1 tower into some gold for themselves.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It's 23 minutes in. 23 minutes in, and somebody still doesn't have their ultimate. Yeah, things aren't going so well for Jotum today. Looks like a BKB for God as well, but by the time they get that BKB, they're still dealing with the massive amounts of physical damage that this Fnatic squad can put out. I mean, look at the cores that they ran. They ran 3 different range glass cannon style right clickers. The Furion, the Silencer, and the Drow Ranger. Especially with the Drow Ranger aura making the Furion and the Silencer even stronger than they were before. These guys, I mean, even if you do jump the Drow Ranger, you're still going to have these other 2 beating on you. So just because you have a BKB doesn't really protect you that much anymore. Only reason Phantom Assassin is okay is because of her blur. But eventually even that's going to be countered. The MKB, just another 700 gold for that.
Illusion.
We also have Arise, who's going to be going for his refresher here in a short amount of time, is about 2/3 of the way through it. And Ace go for a full-out Mjolnir if he wants, very soon as well. So some very big ticket items coming up for Fnatic. They're probably going to wait for those before they try and push any tier 2s. No sense in trying to rush things as they're very far ahead by this point. Hey, at least Jotum has Nether Swap now. BZZ also has a Basher, so some individual lockdown of his own, definitely necessary against this Drow Ranger, but is going to need a lot more damage than what he currently has. As at this point, like, you could easily see Hani pick up an MKB and potentially something like a BKB before the next team fight. I don't think a BKB would be that bad of an idea. A lot of the damage you would be trying to deal with, though, with the BKB is dealt with kind of with the Blink Dagger. The Magic Missile stun coming in, the Centaur's initiation with his Blink Stomp. Hell, even the Visage Nuke. Probably decent chance of you getting away from. But I think your biggest incentive for going BKB this game would be the Centaur, and his Blink Dagger is supposed to deal with that. Though, if you get hit by Stampede, that's the one issue. Like, you can easily blink yourself away. If the Centaur tries to blink on you and Centaur Stomp, you can easily blink out before he lands that. That should be very, very easy. But if you Stampede as a Centaur and blink on to the Drow Ranger and hit her with that bit of damage first, well, there goes your Blink Dagger. Smoke rotation in from Fnatic, just looking for a pick off somewhere in the jungle that'll allow them to go into this tier 2. These familiars, though, are just food for Hani. vir.pro seem pretty lost in what to do right now. They've gotten one dual pick-off. That's why I like to see Legion Commander. It's more of an off-lane hero, and maybe... Like, I don't mind teams putting priority on her, but I think that the emphasis of duel, if you're going to have duel, you have to make sure you have better team fight. And I don't think the Phantom Assassin necessarily gives you that.
I'll take that.
That and your support's having a pretty lackluster laning phase and really falling behind in experience kind of kills a lot of your team fight as well. So then you're just left with Fnatic deathballing, and you can't actually beat them in a team fight. So you're not going to find many duel opportunities. BZZ is pretty far forward right here. But it seems like Fnatic actually believe that they're just baiting out the Phantom Assassin. Or at least they think it's a possibility. They're showing nobody up here in the top lane. They're waiting for a Furion to teleport in, which they might just be obliged with. Ace, he may make the movement from doing this neutral and go up to lane and just push it out a little bit. Ooh, Phantom Assassin actually managing to secure the Earthshaker kill there. Looks like he just jumped in on him and killed him real quick during BKB timing and also teleported out. Still, Furion doesn't get caught. Looks like he's going to be going for the Scythe of Ice, so no meal. They don't really have a good static charge option, except for the Furion himself. But he's going to be going for that hard disable. Which, when dealing with so many BKBs, make
Find.
pretty slow game so far. Refresher for a Rise and soon to be a level 3 ultimate, so he's a big upgrade for him. Witch Doctor is actually halfway to his Aghanims. What's Hani building? Just got 2,400 gold in the bank. What if he goes like straight Butterfly? I'm just trying to think of items that would make him a little bit tankier. And naturally you would go to a BKB if you don't have one, but I'm not sure if it's necessary for this game.
Here, catch!
Manta gives you a small extra bit of stats. Maybe it's time to upgrade that Yasha into a Manta. Heart is Satanic is an inevitability for the Drow Ranger, I think. As it gives you a decent amount of strength while also giving you some lifesteal options as well. Then there's Butterfly. Great damage dealing item for a Drow Ranger that also allows you to have some extra tank versus some of these heroes like Phantom Assassin. Speaking of which, got to pick off on the Nature's Prophet. You do have to be careful with these pickoffs. Despite the fact the dialing back of the bounty change, there is still going to be the prioritization of grouping up, and because pickoffs are still worth so much more than they used to.
Is under attack. Dire structures are
Mainly in
fortified.
experience, but also in gold as well. They're going to jump in. Oh, Cedo. Thanks to that ward right there. Leading with a Fisher stun and blinking forward, quickly killing Cedo before he could even respond with any teleports from his allies. vir.pro trying to go for a trade-off. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get it, though. Hani's already here, and he wants to party. He's going to go straight for BZZ. Actually, nice Fisher block plus the Echo Slam. They quickly wipe him off the map. And that is now godlike Hani. Rest of vir.pro team will be able to teleport themselves out successfully, but it's a pretty rough
Dire's
pickoff.
bottom tower is under attack.
Phantom Assassin is, surprisingly enough, keeping in step to some extent with the Drow Ranger. Only 2,000 net worth behind, considering how many towers have been taken from the side of Fnatic. They've actually grabbed every single outer tower. So Jada may be going down here. He's going to try and get up the cliff. Still gets blocked out, though. And should be the one pick off. Ace actually may be going down in exchange for it. Jottam getting a little bit low. Will take out from the last Furion ultimate that goes in. Yol actually will be dying to just that Furion ultimate. Come with me. Actually stop Zedoy there. And Zedoy will also go down. Beyond godlike now for Hani. And Fnatic may have lost their Furion, but they still have enough pushing power. They can easily go uphill and try and take down a tier 3, or back up, go for the safer option, and do Roshan, which, fortunately for them, isn't up for another 30 seconds or so. Looks like Yasha is going to be the choice here for Hani. Or, I'm sorry, Manta. Though he has more than enough gold to finish it off. Still holding on to some of it.
Double time!
Invisibility.
It's the first game that I've really seen Legion Commander just have zero impact in the game. She's felt like just such a strong hero, both in pubs as well as watching a bunch of competitive games and many of the games that I've casted as well. Like, she's a great semi-carry that does an excellent job going into the late game as well, but vir.pro are actually sneaking in Roshan right now. The pings come out, but Fnatic, they're going to be too late. They see it now, but it's already been grabbed out by BZZ. Aegis will be his. And it only lasts for 6 minutes, but that might just be enough time for Fnatic. May have to sit back and just farm this one out. And I was wondering, I was like, can we actually be seeing something else with this ultimate orb? And I guess so. I guess Lincoln's for Drow Ranger. You've got, I mean, the Phantom Assassin, her jump in is blocked out. Phantom Strike is blocked by Lincoln's. The duel from the Templar Assassin also blocked. Swap. All those single target initiating tools for vir.pro are canceled out by the Lincoln, so it's not that bad of an idea. Looks like they're going to go for BZZ here. Oh, jump in, Echo Slam. They may just pop the first life of the Phantom Assassin before any option for a BKB. Now he's probably going to BKB, though. Oh, he actually gets caught out by the stun and the follow-up. Needs to be able to have a blink target. Yol's going to be able to give him that one. And the double silence is unfortunately not doing enough. Quick little stun onto Ace. Yol is probably going to be dying here. Swap goes down. Fisher stun still hits him. Press the attack. Unfortunately, Yol is blocked out and won't be able to do anything else. So they do save their Phantom Assassin's second life, but there went that Aegis plus even more gold for our Drow Ranger. And I'm a bit surprised. I really felt it was like, I felt like they had hit a certain point where they had gotten over the hill And it was like, all right, we can't really lose a team fight now. Like, we're so far ahead. The idea of us losing a straight-up team fight is pretty ludicrous. So I figured they would have tried to at least go for one poke uphill. But it seems like they still want to play off of their late game farm. Really hope Seedor doesn't go for this one. Oh, he's going to try. Running in to come with me, and it seems like his allies are just going to leave him to die. Hani and Rise feeling like the Centaur probably not alone. He actually was alone for like 10 seconds there. But they don't try and respond. I mean, and it makes sense. It's the most conservative play. When you're this far ahead with the... Can't really call it a rubber band effect, but the comeback mechanics still being instituted, even if they have been diminished significantly. They're still there. And so holding on to a 15,000 gold lead and 10,000 experience lead with a beyond godlike streak on your Drow Ranger, there's no sense in putting her in danger if you can just give away a support like that.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But the result will be vir.pro will grab themselves a tier 2 before they back up. Go back to farming. Oh. Alright, misclick by BZZ, loses himself a BKB charge. Now down to 5 seconds. Sulcure for God, Phantom Assassin. Again, I would say a Helma Dominator. Maybe not a full Satanic, but at least a Helma Dominator by this point. I'm okay with like delaying that in exchange for like the BKB or the early BKB, then turning that into the Abyssal, which you kind of need that lockdown. Makes sense. But when it comes to other items, I think lifesteal has got to be a priority for you. We'll see what he chooses. Jump in, Jotum is going to be picked off here, and Seedor. They tried to force staff over, now teleport away, but Ani does see him at the last second.
Keep you safe.
At force staff falling just short of giving him over the cliff, but either way, it wouldn't have mattered, as Ace was there ready to go. And now time to push uphill. They've got a Manta for Hani as well. Lincoln's, MKB, Blink Dagger.
Dire structures.
BZZ actually getting the pick off here at top lane with the silencer kill. That's pretty big. That's got to be a huge chunk of experience for her. Plus a decent amount of 1,000 gold for 1 kill. Fnatic falling back once again, and Silencer is down. They may even wait for his double ultimate. They may wait a full 2 minutes until that refresher is up. Now, drawing games out like this does always leave you exposed to a certain amount. Oh, no. He actually missed that one. Jotum is still going to be trying to run him out. Oh, they got the Blink Dagger off, though. BZZ. Kind of messing that one up, and God couldn't even get in range of the duel. BZZ. So the important thing about Lincoln's is that when you use Dagger as well as Phantom Strike, Dagger actually has to land on the unit before it procs the Lincoln's, and Phantom Strike is instant. Obviously, because you instantly jump on them. So he needed to wait until the Dagger hit if he wanted to be in close range. Maybe he actually intended to do that and just wanted to break the Blink Dagger for a few seconds with the Dagger hitting, but either way, I think Jotum had plenty of opportunity to hit a stun there, or at least a swap. Either one, he had options. Hani with the double damage rune is going to be pushing in the top lane, though. Still got another 10 seconds to make this one work.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Also got a Silencer ultimate ready to go if necessary.
Thanks be to you.
Siege is beginning. Bottom lane, though, BCZ is pushing this one out. Obviously not nearly as fast as Hani can. This tier 3 tower is going to fall soon, and
Radiant's
Phantom
bottom
Assassin
tower
needs to
is
get back, but
Dire's top
more
tower
importantly,
has
her team
fallen.
needs to find an opening. That way BZZ doesn't teleport back for nothing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pressing out, knowing that the Furion is in the bottom lane, vir.pro are hoping to find somebody in their own jungle, but not going to happen.
I'll take that.
Let it go.
Let's see, bets on Drow Ranger's next item. Let's say Daedalus. Butterfly, well, actually Butterfly would be better. Forgot he still doesn't have. So, selling the Ring of Aquila for a Butterfly. Especially up against that Phantom Assassin. So, Butterfly, Daedalus is your last two items. Even though, do you get rid of your Blink Dagger? I don't know. I don't think you do. And vir.pro have no other options at this point. They just have to sit back and wait this one out. What is that? Helm of the Valkyrie. Got like some sort of gem. Satanic could be finished up by BZZ, but he'd be a little short on buyback hold. And both teams waiting on Roshan. It's going to be up here in 2 minutes' time, so... The Witch Doctor with the Ags. What other... Or Templar Assassin. They've won one duel this whole entire game. I don't think actually anybody has won a duel except for the Templar Assassin. So she has had one duel that has given any damage to anybody. I don't know why I'm clicking on the vir.pro team, searching for duel damage, but... That's what I do. Salkiras, small items. Nothing really major coming up for vir.pro, while it seems like Fnatic are just drowning in big, big items.
I'll take that.
Looks like Yol's gonna pick up his Shivas as his next item. Extra physical damage, can't really help. Can't really hurt, I mean. This has to be the slowest 6.82 game I've casted so far, though. Yeah, both teams are just like, it's so scary to push uphill by now just because of the potential. Oh my god. Ranged artillery there. God actually will die. As the silencer ultimate. Oh, maybe not. He's actually going to be fine. BKB protecting him. And he will just barely live. Satanic going to be purchased now by our Phantom Assassin, who still has another 1,900 gold for buybacks. Seedoy actually stopping this one. May have made some mistakes, though. That Furion is not to be trifled with. It's Treants, though. Free money. Roshan is up. I keep saying Templar Assassin when referring to Legion Commander. I don't know why. I think she's just because she's another badass female right-click hero. Somehow my brain just equivalates the two. They're actually going to pick up Aegis and Cheese here without Fnatic doing anything about it. Now Seedoy is actually going to go for the initiation here. Hani is ready to go, though, and is going to be picking off Seedoy, now focusing on BZZ, but just not doing enough damage there, as BZZ just continues to run forward. Slow on to Rise. Manta going out. Looks like Rise is going to be losing his life. Going for the easier kill. A Rise comes back into play, though. Doesn't actually have either of his ultimates. Going to be going on to God now. Hani blinks forward there. Not quite sure if that's what he wanted. No block. God now actually getting the duel. Jump in from BZZ. Echo Slam going out, but protected by the BKB. God will get the duel damage and get a kill on Come With Me. BZZ still low. Not quite losing out on his Aegis. And vir.pro, rapid turnaround here as they're going to go for Ace up next. The familiars will start chasing him down. And I'm thinking, God, well, he's got to be careful of this one. BZZ will probably be losing his Aegis as well as God may have to burn through the cheese. Ace no longer has that blade mail, and he's not getting out of this one. BZZ popping his BKB, jumps for Ace, gets that quick kill. Needs to deal with Hani up next, but he's dealing with both the Silencer as well as Hani. Needs to be able to get some lucky bashes here. Pops the Satanic, healing back up. Hani trying to get some distance, but already to jump in. God surrounding him, and they get that kill as well. Buyback is down for the Drow Ranger. This could be the end of the game right here. Arise, he may be picked off as well. He can't afford to be going down here, but he's surrounded on all sides. He's going to be dropping another set of duel damage there for God, who only had one extra duel. Had one duel won at the beginning of this team fight. And has now jumped up to 3 with 50 extra damage. Silencer does have a buyback here, but the Drow Ranger, as well as the Furion, straight diebacks in those team fights, still didn't win the fight because they were trying to fight around an Aegis and a cheese. BZZ now jumping in for Come With Me, pops the BKB, moving on to Arise next, and with that line steal, he's got no issues dealing with that Witch Doctor damage, and holy crap, that gold swing has got to be, just look at that, oh my god, it's dropped by over 10,000 in the space of just a minute and a half. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, this fight recap just doesn't keep all of it together because we had several fights and breakups. But this could be the end of the game right here. Like, they're going to have one last fight here for Fnatic.
Radiant's middle tower has
Guess just being too cautious and at some point being too cautious and at the same time taking a really bad team fight allows this game to completely swing in the favor of vir.pro. That's going to be 2 sets of racks down. Not going to be going over for the last set of racks though. That's why Fnatic still have one more team fight in them. Rise, you got to be careful, buddy. Your allies are only just now coming up. No surprise, though. vir.pro will take the time to back up, and why not? They've got some huge items coming in. At 4,700 gold on the Phantom Assassin, we have our Legion Commander, who's going to be having a straight-up Abyssal pretty soon here. 2,200 on the Vengeful Spirit. Centaur, he's going to actually be going for a late Crimson Guard.
A lucky find.
Can't say I'm too big of a fan of that. Does Crimson Guard actually, does the damage block apply to the Witch Doctor ultimate? Because if so, that's 50 damage blocked out of the 120 that ultimate is dealing. Get that right? Crimson Guard, yeah, 100% 50 block.
Gasket.
Even though I thought we had, because it used to be back in Dota 1, I believe that Vanguard was a really good counter to Serpent Wards, but it doesn't work that way anymore, so I don't believe it does anymore. Oh dear. This game has just changed up so dramatically. It's now gold in the favor of vir.pro. About a 20,000 gold. I think that's the biggest gold drop I've ever seen in my life. 14,000 experience as well, due to one really, really terrible fight for Fnatic. Jumping in, Blink Dagger still keeping up with God, trying to disable that. Nice, good use of the Force Staff as well. They just need to make sure that he can't blink away and will be successful in their endeavors.
One less enemy now.
Great pickoff for them. As now that whole exchange of golds and the comeback mechanic now actually will be in Fnatic's favor. Though there's still 2 sets of racks down. They're going to be going in for a push in the top lane, but vir.pro are already in a position. Both the middle and bottom lanes are pushing in. They could go straight for tier 4s with just the creeps and some of their support heroes before they teleport back. And it seems like Fnatic don't want to be making that exchange.
Radiant's middle
Blink
tower
forward,
is
come with me,
under
trying to
attack.
find anybody at this point. Ace is actually going to be able to grab Yol. Slowing him down, that's going to be one pickoff, but they're going to need a lot more. Gonna need ton more. 600 gold just for his support. Phantom Assassin, holy crap. He's got 6,500 gold on him. He could sell the drums. What he gets, I don't think you, maybe you actually, I was going to be like, butterfly, you don't want to get that. The evasion does stack, but you're dealing with an MKB. But you're only dealing with one MKB right now. Technically, butterfly may have some value for you. Though I don't think that's going to be your item of choice. Yeah, Death Ward is not reduced by damage block. Thank you. Didn't think it worked that way. So it shouldn't work like that for Crimson Guard. So I'm surprised that we're going for it. Just because that 50 damage block, I mean, it's... Obviously, it's good all states of the game, but it's obviously much better early on. People are only doing 100, 150 damage a hit. Not so much when they're dealing that number right there. What is that, 700 damage a hit? Jesus. Divine Rapier ready to go, boys. Do you go Divine Rapier on BZZ next? He actually went for a heart at his next item, so he went for all-out tank. No chance of just one-shot critical. Come on now. 28-19. The game continues to stall out. It's 52 minutes in. We have had Fnatic, who were in control of the game the whole entire way. Like, about, what was it, 10 minutes in, we had that jump up where they went to about a 5,000 gold lead and only grew from there. And one just awful team fight for Fnatic. And the golden experience is now either completely neutralized or experience just slightly in their favor to a point where it doesn't even matter. Especially this late into the game. So, Divine Rapier for Hani. Do we have any other big items that were picked up? Shiva's for Yol. No Mega Basher for God just yet. Sure, that's going to be his next item. Heart for BZZ. Blink Dagger for Jotum. Hey, Jotum got some gold. Look at that. What a star. This poor Vengeful Spirit has had such a crappy game all game long. Finally has some sort of items to work with.
Radiant's top tower is
Playing
under
this
attack.
very slow. I like the way vir.pro are just hiding out. And it's making Fnatic very paranoid.
Fortified.
Because they see no heroes on the map. I'm not sure Cedo wants to take this fight up against Ace. Maybe with the Familiars they actually do have enough damage. Double edge, and they do. The Familiar stuns make the difference there. Cedo was dropping very quickly. Just as some of those right clicks from the Furion. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to look at that and go, oh, that's 6.82 and work. And yeah, it is to a serious extent. But it's also the fact that Fnatic bought back on two different heroes, gave away a Beyond Godlike streak, several other kind of killing sprees on some of the other heroes, bought back, fed those heroes again, without vir.pro losing anybody in the team fight. They maybe lost one hero in that whole entire thing. They lost Aegis. May have lost one of their supports. Legion Commander should have survived. I think she held on to her cheese.
A lucky find.
I mean, you really don't get much worse of a team fight than that. You don't get more potential of a gold swing than that. Unless Fnatic buy back on every single hero and all throw them away. Then all the towers that go down during that time as well. Even if Tower Bounty was nerfed up a bit. Phantom Assassin getting to a point where you can afford, you're going to need to hold on to a lot of gold by this point. You need to hold on to Boots of Travel plus a buyback. It's okay, this is pretty much your 6th slot for now. Your extra items are going to be probably Boots of Travel and a buyback, so you can buy back and teleport into the team fight if necessary. Roshan is up. Jodam has revealed it, and that's going to be the Deathstroke there for Fnatic. I don't see how they fight up against another round of Aegis plus Cheese. Zito has been picked off here by Ace, and is actually completely trapped out here. One more hit, they may not actually get it. Zito is getting himself away. Silencer ultimate going out, ticking him down, but not quite enough damage. Goes down to 50 health. That's just one extra lightning proc. Static charge or the Mjolnir. But Fnatic, I don't know, it's all about Roshan right now. They just gave up Roshan 2 times in a row. I don't see how vir.pro lose another team fight. Aegis for God. Yul's actually going to be picking up the cheese. And now, because they know vir.pro are all down on the right side of the map, I'll try and push out this top lane a little bit more, but kind of futile here. BZZ. He's got a haste rune, and he's looking for blood on Ace. He's going to be jumped on, gets the Abyssal. If he gets enough bashes here, pops the BKB, making sure there's the critical. 1800, no problem. Come with me, going to be up next. Cass going to be bouncing around, and this, I don't think he gets much disastrous in this. Hani's going to come in through the background. There goes that ultimate. It's actually chasing away a lot of those heroes. Zito is going to fall. Jump in on Jodam as well. He's going to get right-clicked down. Now they're going to lose BZZ, actually. He gets scythe-devised up. And I thought that was just going to be an utter disaster. At home, though, they are losing their tier 4s. So even though they get a good fight, they're just going to have to play defense for a while. Their tier 4s are down. Have to push out both the bottom and the middle lanes. And by the time they do that, Phantom Assassin will be back up. No need to use buybacks here. And God can actually finish up his Abyssal now. And just imagine though, just imagine if that was like 6.82 and not 6.82 B, because that gold drop would have been like 20, 30,000. Double divines. All right. Drow Ranger, they're going to go for one last push, it looks like. One last push through the middle lane. Ace is probably going to be joining them. Come with me. Needs to hurry his ass up. Because at a certain point, they're just going to get ratted. I think you've got no other options than take the fight to vir.pro, especially with the Phantom Assassin down for another 20 seconds. Chances are, you could probably take down that tier 3 in the middle tower before he's back up, because you won't want to buy back with just 10, 15 seconds left. So you probably could have guaranteed to yourself at least a tier 3 tower before you go for that fight. I honestly don't like their options of just turtling this one out. With 2 sets of racks down and the tier 4s being dead, like your throne being exposed, like one mistake is all it takes for either the throne to die or for this top set of racks to die. Ethereal Blade for the Silencer, trying to protect himself up against these big bad melee. I'm gonna call them something else, but these melee heroes that are just wrecking his day. 2 minutes on the Aegis. Aegis not mattering as much, but they can afford to let it go down if they want. What do you even do when you're in the position of Fnatic right now? Like, I don't even know how you finish out this game, let alone go into game 2 with any sort of confidence or motivation. You had this game dead to rights. And it stalled out, and it stalled out, and stalled out. You made a couple of errors, and then made a really, really, really big error. Now they're just left with waiting for vir.pro. vir.pro can decide to do whatever they want. If they want to farm up for a while longer, they can do so. They can wait for another Aegis and cheese. They can wait for everyone on their team to be 6 slotted. They determine the pace of this game. Fnatic will just have to bide their time and wait for their overlords. $7,600 gold on. I don't know if you guys saw that post on Reddit, Total Biscuit responding to an article. You've got two of the strongest heroes in this game right now. Both badass women. Phantom Assassin and Legion. $1,800 criticals. I really want to see BZZ get a Divine. I know he's not going to. He seems very content with his 6 slot right now, but just for the possibility of doing 2,500 plus damage. Well, 4 minutes on the next Roshan. BZZ scaring him a little bit. Centaur ultimate going down. Looks like he can't come with me. And he's going to be able to protect himself with the Ghost Scepter and blink himself away, so he'll be fine. But vir.pro start closing in more and more and more. Just a little dagger here. You never know. BZZ's actually going to jump you with that dagger if he's just probing at you. And look at the commitment they have to make here. Dividing themselves between the throne and their tier 3 in the top lane. They're going to lose it soon. Ace right now is being stunned up by the familiars. BZZ starts closing in on the throne. Jump back up. They're going to try and pop Cedo real quickly before they go back to the team fight. Ace will be caught out by God. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is focusing on that throne. Left with 2,800 health. There goes Silence number 1. Trying to force it out, but they're going to be losing their racks here soon as they're spending so much time around their throne. Now jump in from BZZ right in front of the fountain. Now the Echo Slam goes down. BZZ going to be caught out. Death Ward even being used just to be able to get that 1 kill. Go back up to the top lane. We're left with just a melee racks now. 62 minutes into this game. There goes the buyback from the Phantom Assassin, who will buy the boots of travel and teleport into the middle lane. They know Furion's down. He doesn't even have enough gold. Like, he still needs another 7 seconds for a buyback, and he doesn't even have the gold for it. Melee racks are going to fall. That's going to mean mega creeps. And Fnatic,
mega creeps.
Bit by bit, their throne's going to go down now. Still going to hold on to hope, though. Stun in, God gonna pop his BKB, and he just goes straight for the throne. BZZ is gonna pop Hani real quickly, and there goes those double divines, and that should be the game now. Buyback from Hani, but the throne will die to just God at this point in time. So 63 minutes in, game number 1 between Fnatic and vir.pro. Result in being a lot closer than maybe it should have been. Fnatic end up throwing away over a 15,000 gold lead over 1 team fight. And vir.pro make an amazing comeback. So